No, but before we like delve into everything, um, what was I gonna say? If I ask you anything that's like way too much, or if I ask you something you don't want to answer, don't worry about it. Just be like, I'm sorry, I don't want to answer that, and we can immediately move on. You know,
Problem, no problem. I
is there?
mean, I'm pretty like I said. What I want to do is help people kind of deal with these emotions on losing a parent super early and losing a parent that you weren't like super close to. I wasn't the closest with my dad, and I hold a lot of guilt for that. That's kind of what I want to
Mm,
dive into and kind of like let people know that like it hurts, but it's okay. There
mm-hmm.
isn't anything you can do now, whether or not they're in heaven or in the electronic fields of the universe or just gone.
Right.
What you can do now is respect who they were and let them live through you.
Mm-hmm. So I guess yeah, go over everything you're feeling right now. Hey, if you want to start off with what happened, or go straight into the feelings of it all. However you want to start this, you take it away.
Uh, I'll go with we'll start off with the worst. I think that's gonna my dad was hit by a car while crossing a crosswalk. Um, it's honestly, I've lost track of time. Days have kind of blurred together. It was on the 13th, well, on the 12th, but I found out on the 13th. Um, Sorry if you can hear my sister.
Oh, you're fine.
It was literally like 2 blocks down. Um, I we don't know all the details on what happened or why it happened. All we know is that the person who hit him was a lady, and he was crossing the street on a two red lights. But since he was a pedestrian, he had the right of way. She just probably just wasn't paying attention and just full on
Mm-hmm.
just and he passed away on impact.
How old was your father?
For if I think he was going to be 49 this year.
Mm-hmm.
He was 48, 49. So pretty young, all things considered.
Yeah. In today's age,
Um,
it's a pretty young age to pass away. Yeah.
yeah.
What's running through your mind? When it started, or right after everything happened to now. What's been going through your head?
So when I found out, I was actually on a call with celebrating his birthday, and my grandmother comes and grabs me, and she's like, "Insert name here. Come here. There's an officer, and she needs to talk to you." And there's so many things running through my mind. Did I taxes? I've never paid a tax in my life, so I was like, "Am I getting arrested for tax evasion? Um, is it something to do with my dad? Did he do something wrong? Is he, in jail again? Did there were so many things. There's a couple of reasons why officers would be in my house right now. We got a lot going on here. Um, and so I was like, okay, I told John I'll be right back, and I go, and the look in the officer's eyes, everybody tells me that like envy and sympathy look very similar, but all I could really see was kind of pity. Uh, and I don't deal with like those types of emotions towards me very well, so I was already like, fuck, okay, something really bad is they're about to tell me something like really, really fucking bad, and me and my nana are kind of sitting together, and first question the officer asks is your
Oops,
dad
sorry.
married? And I was like, no, you're okay. She asks me if my dad is married to anybody named, which is my aunt.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like, no, like they're not married, but they're brother and sister. So I was like, that's really weird. No, And then the next question was, are you his first daughter? And I was like, yes. And honestly, I was just trying to think of literally anything, but I kind of knew what she was gonna say. It was just I was more thinking on how it happened, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they're like, your dad was hit by a car, and I was like, what? What do you mean he was hit by a car? He's always, he was the first person to teach me look both ways before you cross the fucking road. Fuck you. What do you mean he was hit by a car? And then they told me they weren't able to identify him, um, because he just when they went to identify him from its like wallet and stuff, he had a bunch of other people's credit cards and IDs, and the only way that they were able to identify him was the tattoo on my arm, or on his arm, excuse me, that had my name. Um, and so they traced that back. I don't know how they traced that back, but that's what the officer told me. And then honestly, everything after that was kind of a blur.
Mm-hmm.
Very
So it's
much
been,
just wailing.
yeah, it's a really tough thing. Like, grief is such a intense feeling. And it's not something you can fully understand unless you've gone through it before. Is this your first time, like, feeling the loss of somebody?
No, I've lost a lot of people in my life, but this is the third car accident that I've lost somebody to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my mom's mom was hit by a semi, and then my uncle was hit on his motorcycle by an oncoming car. The rest of the loss, every loss that I've had has either been from natural causes or from a car. I don't drive because of that. I don't know how to
Right.
drive. I'm turning 23 this year, and it's a little embarrassing, but I don't know. Cars are scary.
Cars are
I don't think
scary.
people realize how scary. People don't realize how scary cars are.
People
Especially
get
when they drive.
people get way too used to driving, and when you get too comfortable in a dangerous situation, because cars are dangerous, that's a lot of mass moving really quickly, and all it takes is one moment where you're not paying attention for stuff like this to happen, whether it's a person or an object, whatever it is. If you get too comfortable, that's when problems happen. I've talked about that too in previous episodes. Like, you have to always be constantly aware when you're in a vehicle, because the moment something happens, yeah, that's when drastic consequences occur. So, yeah, it's dangerous. I think yeah, I wouldn't be afraid of driving. I would be. That's a dumb thing to say. I get why you're afraid to drive. I totally do. And it's reliable, but I mean, is there a way if you really don't want to drive? How do you get around? Do you have like a job that you have to go to, or school, or anything?
So I work from home. My highest education is high school. Uh, the field that I want to, go into, I've heard nothing good comes out of it except for debt, which is art school.
So what no, for everything that's happened, just to get back on track, how are you doing? How do I say this? I stutter a lot, if you can't tell, if you haven't noticed. Yeah.
You're completely fine.
How are you feeling through all this?
Guilty.
Why do you
Very
feel guilty?
There's a lot of reasons. I wasn't as close as I really wanted to be. It was always a postpone type of thing, like till he gets better, till he gets back on his feet, Um he was a drug user, and he's been a drug user my entire life. Um and for that reason I kind of, whether it was my choice or not, he just hasn't been in my life. Um and it's really hard to have a relationship with parents who steal from you and that you find, almost dead, or leave paraphernalia in your bathroom, or lie to you about their well being. Or I have so many stories I could tell about my dad and his habits, and me trying to help him, but he didn't want help,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really hard because he had finally said, that he was going to be going to detox. He's been staying out in our backyard in a tent. We live in California, so it gets cold, but you have a fucking sleeping bag or like three, you'll be all right.
Yeah. He was staying in a tent in your backyard.
My Nana's backyard, yeah.
Gotcha.
Because my Nana didn't want him in the house because
I think I can understand.
Yeah. And it was really hard because he went to rehab and he was doing better, and him and I had a really like heart to heart, talk to talk, and I think that was like the realest that my dad has ever been with me.
What did you guys talk about?
Just a little bit about him, a little bit about me. At the time I was engaged, and I was kind of telling him about him. I was just trying to like open up to him, and let him know that like I'm here, like if he needs anybody, like at least he has his daughter. Maybe he doesn't have any type of love anywhere else, but he has his daughter. And I was telling him about my fiance, and then we kind of talked about like his drug addiction, and he admitted to me, every other time that I've ever asked him about his drug use, he would always be like, no, that's not mine, deny, deny, deny. And this was like the first time where he was like, yeah, no, I used to use cocaine. I tried heroin. He wasn't 100% honest. I knew he was using fentanyl. I knew he was using heroin, but he was like, I don't do needles now. I did needles in the past. I don't do them now. And, based off of previous events, I knew that wasn't true. But it was nice because he had never admitted. Oh, that was me. I did lag.
That's okay.
He had never admitted that he had a problem until then. And then he fell back into it.
Yeah. It sucks when we like when we can like I guess see somebody like in their like we can see how much somebody can like improve. Like we can see this like picture of somebody and how they could be like they were to change, and like the things we wish we could do to support them and stuff. And yeah, it sucks because it's all on that person to want to change. And we can wish that all we want, but yeah, it's always up to them. And that's tough because it's super frustrating. Yeah. That kind of guilt too of like, it sucks because I get the side of like, could have done more to help, but if in any situation like this, it's like you could pour your heart and soul into somebody and they still wouldn't change. You know, it's kind of one of those circumstances. I would sit with your guilt for a second, you know, and keep processing it and stuff. And I would, at least from my outside perspective here, this guilt that you have is not guilt that has been cultivated from your actions. You know, this, like, you didn't really, at least from what you're telling me, it's all like kind of like wishing you had done more than, you know, the help that you already kind of have, you know. So, you know, give yourself some time here.
I mean, oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. What were you going to say?
I think the one thing that I feel the most guilty, like, about is, after he relapsed and after, he had to go to the hospital, he would come by sometimes, and this was during the time when my nana was like completely done with his shit. Like, you can't come here, you can't come to the house, you know, you need to fuck off and find something else, somewhere else to go, because you can't be here, you know. And sometimes he would come and visit late at night, and he would knock on the back glass door, and I would ignore him. And, you know, he'd probably just be asking for some water or something, but like,
True.
I was so angry.
Yeah.
I was so angry at him.
The hard part with people like that is they're gonna, like, you give them water and stuff, and then they ask for more, and they rely on you more. They become way more dependent on you, you know. And, you know, that kind of separation is a way of helping somebody in that kind of extremity, because if they really, you know, it comes down to what they can do for themselves, you know. And yeah, man, that's tough. That's super tough. Yeah, I feel like if through all the, like, grieving, you know, because I've grieved too. I've lost people in my life. That kind of feeling of like, I wish I had done more. Like, even if you unconditionally loved someone, you know, you're always gonna feel like that, no matter what. There will always be a feeling of, I wish I had done more for that person. And I think that I think that's a good thing to realize too, going through you know, that grieving process. For you, you're still so fresh in all this, you know. Like, there's so much going through your head right now, and there's stuff that you're talking about right now that will have a lot more sense of clarity, you know, in the coming months. And it takes, the hardest part about grieving is the time. And like, people always say that like time is the greatest healer. Time is also so fucking heavy and dreadful, because like, you're just always stuck right now. And I don't know. I'd try your best to be comfortable in that. You know, be comfortable feeling everything you're feeling right now, you know, in its uncomfortability, because it takes forever, you know. But yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Trying to think of another question for you. How are you grieving right now? what are you doing? What are you thinking about? That kind of stuff.
I just recently I have like a little shrine for my family that has passed, and I finally put them up yesterday, like a part of it. And before that, I was kind of like, I was trying to tell myself like he's gone, and I'd be like, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead. Like he's not coming back. You're not gonna see him anymore. He's gone. You literally have like his things in your closet on your wall. And I would tell myself that. And usually you would think that like you'd get like really, especially so soon, you'd get like really like you'd feel it in your heart. And like I would feel it in my heart, but then like I would like it would take me like a minute to kind of like realize what I was saying, and then I'd be like, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. I that's so dystopian to say that.
When you say
And then
like saying what exactly? Like repeating like that confirmation that he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, it doesn't really yeah, trying to force that feeling sucks. It doesn't just happen, a lot of time. Yeah. Sorry, I wish I was way more clear with my responses right now.
Okay. It's a heavy topic.
I hate that feeling of like yeah, like all the materialistic side of them is still there, like everything that surrounded them on the earth, that doesn't just leave. And it makes it way harder to feel like they were there. Or I mean, to feel like they were gone. Because yeah, then we round a corner, right? You look outside, out back, and you expect him to be there, and he's not, and it just, yeah, hated that feeling, going through that. Every time it happens, it's like that ache. Yeah. What does your support group look like through all this? You said you were engaged. Are you like married now, or are you still engaged?
Oh, we broke up.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I broke up with him.
Gotcha.
It's okay. Life happens, That's what I've been learning.
It does.
This year's really taught me. This year's really been teaching me that life happens. Life is just gonna keep on going, and it's unforgiving and it's brutal.
How old are you?
But
Did I ask that?
Be really beautiful. I'm 22.
22.
I'm 22.
And you're only 22.
I know.
A lot of people who are in their early 20s say they're old, but they're not. You are just starting your life. You have gone through the tutorial of school, and now it's how do you process the world around you? And in your early 20s, it's so fucking confusing. And now, you have a loss of somebody to add on to that, and it's all learning how life is, because yeah, life doesn't stop for anyone. I'll be 25 in May, and yeah, when I was 22, I was still it had been a bit, but I had gone through a loss then too. And yeah, I felt guilty in the sense of I wasn't thinking about them enough. Like I felt too distracted by stuff. And at first, obviously, that wasn't the case. But like as time goes on, my guilt was like, oh, like I'm back to being settled. I felt guilty that I couldn't. I felt guilty that they weren't on my mind as much. But there has to. Oh, I didn't mean to jump. There has to be an acceptance to that. Because now, I think about the people in my past, and it's whatever lesson I have learned with them in my life, and all the goods and all the bads, and just you know, remembering as much as I can about it. And so when they do pop back in my mind and I think about everything, I'm reminded of, you know, what I learned having these people in my life. But yeah, it takes a long time. To go back to that question, because I know I like asked you two at the same time. What like, do you have a good support group? Do you have people you can ventilate to?
I do. I have my old friend group. I've known them since 2020.
Nice.
They've been there. I'm very much a, while I grieve, I need to be alone. Whether that's good for me or bad for me, I very much isolate myself. And if anybody tries to kind of like push their way in, I get really defensive. I
Yeah.
hate I hate that feeling of pity, of empathy, sympathy. I don't like it. I don't know why. Probably something to do with
I
how
think I
I
know why.
grew up.
At least a little bit. I think I know why. Because I felt the same way. It's because we don't like being vulnerable around people. We don't want people to see us upset and grieving, and like we don't want people to have to feel like they have to be there for us. You know, it's because it's showing a very emotional and vulnerable side. When I grieved, I was alone for a lot of it, and I made horrible decisions of like self-sabotaging. So I hope, please, dear God, do not drop people because you're grieving. You know, yeah.
No. I just isolate. I know better
Yeah.
than to just
Okay.
like
Good.
cut people off. I just disappear, and if somebody's like, "How are you?" I'll deflect by sending like a gif of like this monster creature like ripping its jaws, and like, or like
Yeah.
the person ripping its face off, you know. But
Yeah. That's a clear enough description without being like I'm. And I do think it's okay. I think it's okay to isolate yourself when you know you just want to sit with everything. But I wouldn't, you know, and it's tough because it's uncomfortable being vulnerable around people, but like, you know, the second you just need to ventilate, whoever that is, you know, whoever you think can be there, shoot him a DM and be like, hey, like, you have a second, I gotta just get some stuff out, I'm not in a good spot, you know. Thankfully I had some buddies, you met a couple of them, where I've definitely had moments where I like needed to just sit down and talk to them, just for them to listen, because kind of like ventilating with your father and your father like ventilating to you, you know, it's so important for us to. It's such a relieving feeling getting to talk about what's making us vulnerable to people, you know.
absolutely,
We kind of need that. At least a little bit. So I don't know. I would encourage you to, you know, shoot a text to one of those buddies who, if you think like one of those buddies can, you know, sit down and let you talk about what you need to talk about. I think that would be not only healthy for you in the sense of getting your feelings out, but it's also getting you out of your comfort zone so that you can kind of get through your emotions a little bit healthier. You know what I mean?
absolutely. It's hard though. Like I'm
It is
very
hard.
much like, you
Ooh.
see me.
Sorry.
Oh, goodbye. You're fine. You see me, and it's like I'm always like just bouncing around doing my thing, you know. Uh, I try to keep that, not even persona. That's just who I am. That's how I want to be. That's how I want people to see me. And showing people, you know, anything other than that, I just feel like it's like a vibe killer, you know, whether or not that's outside of doing something really fun or just I'm alone and I just need somebody to talk to, it's hard to send that text because it's just like, well, what if they're at work, or what if they're doing something, or what if I'm interrupting them, or maybe they're, they have more important things going on. I can deal with this on my own. I can, write it down and just forget about it. And that's what I've done with a lot of my emotions. But this one's a little harder because it's like, it's it's my dad.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. It's way more intense.
Yeah.
Would you say this is the hardest you've felt this loss of somebody?
I think so. N- not because not because I didn't want to, but more just this is the first time where I haven't had to be somebody's rock through loss. When I lost my Nana, my mom was pregnant and she did not take it well, and she had already had a scare, and so I really buried those emotions, and me and my Nana were really, 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 really close.
Mm-hmm.
And I just I was very young, and I just kind of.
How old were you when that happened?
Pushed that down. I think I was 13.
Dang. That's a super young age to have to, carry the weight.
That's kind of how I've been, though, my whole life. I've always been a rock for somebody.
And so this is the first time you're grieving alone, necessarily. Yeah.
Yeah, without having to be there and just have a brave face. But it's been really hard because it's like, okay, I'm allowed to not have this brave face. I'm allowed to crumble and cry and mourn. But it's like when I crumble and cry and mourn, it's like, no, you need to pick yourself back up and get it together. Get it together.
Part of the process that I've understood is wait, no, sorry, you said you had more to say. You can, it's all right. I didn't mean to talk over you.
It's okay.
How you feeling? Are you all right?
It's just yeah, I'm fine. A couple tears,
It's okay. Part of the process that I've come to realize of trying to pick yourself back up is you need to kind of let it all crumble. It's not really a crumble, it's more of just like a settle. You can't build the rest of a building unless you have let it foundationalize. And if you keep building it up, it's all going to fall back down no matter what. And that's when our breakdowns happen, and that's when we, force ourselves away from people. Yeah. Part of building yourself back up is to get it all out. And that, yeah. Yeah. Dude, grieving, I totally grieving, like when my friends grieve and stuff too, like it gets to me too, because I just know it's so much of what that's like. Or seeing people grieve, it's such a heavy emotion. But yeah,
you can feel it through your whole body, man. It's such a, and I hate. I think you texted me the other day and you were like, I hope you've been grieving. Like, I hope you've been letting it out. And it's like, yeah, I have been. But as soon as, I feel like it's too much, I immediately, I pull back and I'm like, okay, You got to get some stuff done now. Like you cried for like 5 minutes. Get up, get back to work, get back
Yeah.
into the run of things. You know, you need to clean something, you need to dust something, you need to go through your dad's stuff, you need to yap, whatever. You know, do something to stop feeling this because it's just so heavy, and I just don't, and I hate it. I hate how heavy it feels. It makes me feel so weak, so weak. You know.
100%. Yeah. Um, it's but you're allowed. You know, you're allowed to feel that way. You just lost somebody so part of your life. You know, it's totally okay. Um, and yeah, I think it. I think there are great. I think it's good that you are keeping yourself productive and trying to work through it and like keeping yourself busy. It's just that it's just as important to you know, let yourself feel everything. No, I think you're doing all right. I think you're doing all right. I think like in terms of the grieving process, you know, you could be doing stuff way worse. Like grieving, like keeping yourself busy through chores and stuff is such a healthy way to distract yourself because you could be going and smoking crack and stuff like that to cope. And it's like, it's good that you're not doing that because, you know better,
I see
obviously.
what it does to people.
Yeah.
I see what it does to people.
The way you're coping right now, the way you're grieving right now is so much more healthier than hundreds of thousands of people. You know? So that's really good. I'm happy for you that you're grieving the way you are.
Absolutely. I just wish I could be more vulnerable with myself, I suppose. It's hard, you
It
know.
is.
Yeah.
You said that you write stuff down. Is that like how you ventilate to yourself?
I've started. That was something that I've never journaled before. I started journaling end of last year. Very infrequent. Very much like if I have a problem, I'll write down like a blurb and then I'll forget about it for a while. Um, that's usually what I do. I've been wanting to write my emotions out about my dad, but every time I open up the book and start writing, it's just, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I love you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I love you. I'm sorry. I wish I did more. I wish I was there more. I wish I could have done more. I wish you were better. I wish you cared enough to stop for me, the psychotic writings of a grieving child.
You say that's psychotic, but it's not. Like, everything you're telling me makes perfect sense. Because, yeah, all we wanted was to wish things were better with the people that we love. No, that's not psychotic at all. It makes sense. It makes total sense to feel those feelings. It would be psychotic if you didn't have any feelings at all towards it. You know, especially if it was someone like who you really cared about. I try to journal too. For me, it's infrequent as well, but it's whenever I think of it. I think it's good to journal. It's good to note take how your brain is in all aspects of life. And with grieving, it's good because you can kind of look back and see how you were feeling in the past, and like it's good for your growth. But it's also good in the moment to just jot it down. No, you're fine. It's good to just jot down everything you're feeling, and that is a way to grieve and get it out there. Is just to get it all out, even if it's on a piece of paper. That's good.
Absolutely. just very repetitive. I say the same things over and over. I guess that's what I mean by psychotic.
Yeah, but no, when we're going through intense stuff, we repeat stuff. In my brain, I was repeating everything I was feeling. You know? I was repeating, like, why was I the way I was while you were still alive? You know? And there comes a time where like, and you'll feel it too. There comes a time where, like, we switch from, you know, I'm sorry and, like, I regret so much and I wish things were different, and it switches to, like, kind of an acceptance, like, this is what happened. You know, as much as I wish things were different, I can't change anything. And all I can do is just be aware of it and keep living, you know. And I guess to kind of reiterate what I said, it's just use all the experience, like keep all those experiences in my head and remember them for the rest of my life so I can guide myself through the rest of my life. Yeah.
1 second. I'm so sorry. My Nana's calling.
Do your thing. It's okay.
Apologies. I'm back.
Welcome back. No worries. This stuff is well, are you good? Are you alright?
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine. My Nana just wanted to talk to me. Well, I think she heard me talking about what I was talking about and was just checking in.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, what was I gonna say? None of this is supposed to be easy. You know? We all cope and grieve in different ways. But I think it's important to recognize, you know, what is coping and what is simply a defense mechanism. And a lot of that, like, I guess, avoidance of saying how you're feeling is a defense mechanism, and I do the same thing. But part of it also is no one really needs to know if you're going through something, you know. You get to choose who those people are, always, you know. And if somebody you truly care about comes up to you and goes, "Oh, how are you feeling? Are you all right?" And it doesn't even have to be a full thing. You can just be like, "I'm grieving right now, so I'm going through that." And especially, like, you know, because you're so used to that, like, avoidance, to you that's like to you that's gonna come off as really loud. Like, it's easy to think that that's gonna be a very loud response to what is supposed to be a very nonchalant answer. But in our deliverance of that, you know, it doesn't have to be a bombshell, you know. And I've told my friends too, like, in my own way, like, I was down in the dumps one day, and I think I randomly joined late at night, and they were like, "Oh, hey, like, what are you doing here? You're up so late." And I just went, "Yeah, I was lonely, so I wanted to come hang." And I didn't say it like that, obviously, you know. It was just more chill, and I was like, "Yeah, I just, you know, I was just lonely. I wanted to hop on and say hi." And then that was it. It was like, "Oh, well, hey," you know. And you just get to keep moving on from that, you know. Just letting people know, in terms of the people that you care about, just that just that, like, simple response of, "I am grieving, but, you know, I'm just here to hang," you know, to truly let them know what's going through your head. And even if they go, "Oh, like, do you want to talk about it? What happened? All this stuff," you can just be like, "Oh, I don't really want to talk about it. I'm just here to hang," you know. And see how some people, that might, like, kind of linger in their mind a little bit. But I guess that goes back to what I was saying, like, a true friend that I think you can know, like, who, I think you know what I'm trying to say, who can kind of leave that where it is, That's when I go back to, like, we get to pick who we say those things to. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a kind of a complicated thing. It's like, the right place, right time. Because 90% of the time I do the same thing. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good. I'm just chilling. But when I really feel like I need to say something, I'm like, oh yeah, well, this has been on my mind a lot. But we don't need to talk about it right now. I just wanted you to know that that's how I'm feeling. And just so they know, just so the people that care about you and you care about them, just so they know, that goes a long way.
That's something that I've struggled with a lot, is letting people know, like, where I'm at. I think my homegirl in the real life world where I go and touch grass,
Mm-hmm.
she's able to really tell when something's the matter. And she's very good at navigating, without me having to tell her, but everybody else, I kind of just don't, nobody really knows.
Right.
Um, I keep my emotions very close to my chest, so close, in fact, that sometimes I don't even realize that I'm feeling a certain way about something. And when I do recognize that I'm feeling something, I don't even know what it could be. Cat?
I heard that.
Hang on. I don't know what that was.
I heard
That
that.
was just a noise. All right. That's scary. I'm scared. The emotion I'm currently feeling right now is fear.
At least you have that clarity.
Yeah. I don't know what that was. I thought it was my cat, but my cats aren't.
I thought it was like a little
room.
tiny dog barking.
It sounded like a can dropping, but I don't have any.
To me, it's like a squeak.
Cans in my room. A squeak?
Kinda. Like a little dog that yapped.
I have dogs.
Huh.
Or I do have a dog, but not a little dog. I have a big ass dog. Woofs. He doesn't
Gotcha.
squeak. Oh, you know what? It was my Aquaphor.
Here's your what?
My Aquaphor hit. My Aquaphor. My Aquaphor. Recommended if you have chapped lips. It's better than chapstick.
Aquaphor. I do have chapped lips because it's always so fucking dry in Maine.
I got you. I'll send you a picture.
They're not like that bad, but it's like just enough that it's annoying.
No, where it's like kind of like you can kind of feel it on your lips, and it's
You
like,
always feel it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll send you a picture.
Okay, thanks.
100% recommend. It's made my lips baby soft. Oh yeah. Sorry.
You're fine. Have you gotten a chance to like talk to your friend about this, like truly, like one-on-one, or is it kind of more like she recognizes that you're going through it and is just like she just has that sense, but like you guys haven't like spoken about it?
So I just mean in general, just general emotions. I've been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, bipolar 1. I'm unmedicated, so when I have my dip, she's able to recognize that, But with this specifically, I did tell she was the first person. No, she was the second person that I told. I called my mom and she didn't answer. I don't really talk to my mom, so I wasn't too surprised. And then I called my friend and just wailed. And then after that, she hasn't, I mean, she knows how I am. She knows that, like, whenever it comes to these types of things, I'm not very forthcoming with how I'm feeling. So she just kind of lets me talk to her. However, we hung out Thursday, and I kind of started opening up about it with her and kind of like where I'm at. And I was asking her questions about like the news report on what happened. Um, and because my nana had told me that the newspaper had gotten the streets wrong. Um, and I was kind of worried that the news would have too. And so I was kind of asking her questions, and I guess I might have asked her too many questions, and she kind of like snapped at me and was like, "No, no name, insert name here. That's not like I'll use a fake name. No, Marissa. That's not what happened. It says the actual streets. Don't worry about it." And I kind of shut down after that because I was like,
Yeah, that's not a
I know
yeah.
she didn't mean
That's
to.
rough.
I know she didn't mean to snap at me because I was like pestering her about it, and like we literally were talking about the news article for like 5 minutes. But I don't know. After that, I kind of like just I shut down, and I think she recognized that, and she sent me like an article on it, and
Hmm.
yeah,
There are ways
yeah.
you dismiss that without snapping at somebody. You know.
I mean, I just kind of like I know like I get it. When I do open up about these types of things, I very much just chatter.
Yeah, I have buddies that repeat stuff to me just in general, and I have to go like, hey, like I don't really know what you're talking about. I'm sorry, very gentle way. Especially when somebody's vulnerable, and going through it. That's not okay. I think an important thing too is to always ask, even if it had been an hour since you last ventilated, or day or a week or whatever. Like, ask if you can bring it back up. That's the important one. And setting that boundary setting of, if you really don't want to talk about this, we don't have to. Like assert that boundary, dude. Like, that's one of the biggest flaws of people that I see everywhere, is people do not even just to plant that boundary in front of them. Like, nobody does that. And for you, yeah, like however long it's been, if you need to ventilate again, be like, hey, like, is it all right if I like speak about this a little bit more to you? Can I like get some stuff out again? And be like, well, if you really don't want to, like, be honest with me, we don't have to talk about it again right now. Setting that, like, giving that boundary is really important, I think, to prevent that kind of like snapback, or to prevent, or I guess to quell that anxiety of like, oh, this person's dealing with me yapping away to them, because yeah, you both agree, like you both are getting onto the same page. So, I think that plays a big role into everything.
Absolutely.
Is there anything in particular like that we haven't talked about yet that like you want to bring up? Was there something specifically on your mind that you wanted to say?
I'm thinking on. I know what I want to say. I'm thinking on how I should say it.
Yeah, take your time.
Grieving is really hard, especially if you've lived your life not allowed to grieve. It's okay to learn how to grieve. Somebody is requesting. No. It's okay to learn how to grieve. And it's hard to learn how to grieve. It's hard to learn how to be vulnerable with yourself. It's hard to be human, and that's okay. Um, you know, Dealing with loss is something that you have to learn every single time. You grieve people differently, I feel. Um, and grieving is always going to be a new experience every time you lose somebody, you know, and that's okay. And it's okay to find yourself broken in shambles as long as you know that you're able to either pick yourself up or find people who can help pick you up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And even if you don't have those people, to learn how to pick yourself back up, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
If you don't have people too, it's so hard to figure out where that starts. It's tremendously
Absolutely.
hard. It makes it way harder. Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is going to be kind of a projection, a little bit. But I kind of grew up this way too. But a lot of what you're saying, growing up, were you not allowed to complain? Like, were you not allowed to speak your feelings or anything?
No. No.
Mom and Dad, plug your ears. All right. I grew up feeling the same way. I didn't get a chance to bottle out how I was feeling because a lot about how I was feeling also contributed to things I fucked up on and things that, I would have gotten in trouble for. And not necessarily because how do I word this? My brain is stopping me because I also don't like to ventilate, and I avoid myself from bringing out my own problems. But I realized, and this gets to me emotionally too, but I didn't know how to properly tell somebody when I had a problem until I was well into my early 20s. I was very much bottling up everything because if I really had to ventilate something, if I really had a problem and it got out, it's because my parents pried it out of me because they knew I was going through something. And when I did try to ventilate stuff, I was met with big emotional reactions to it, and my parents definitely reassured me, like, hey, you can tell us anything, like if something's a matter, and they wanted to, but it was just too much of an emotional response rather than I hear you and I see you and let's figure this out. It was a lot more of, why the fuck did you do that then? Why the fuck did all that?
Exactly. No, literally.
So
Exactly.
it teaches you that you get less of a consequence if you just don't tell people how you feel, instead of the environment of telling people how you feel is met with, all right, let's realize what we did wrong and fix our problem in a very calm way, and that stems across all kinds of relationships with people, with your parents, with your friends, with coworkers, with loved ones, with your romantic partner. It's so important that if you really have a problem, whether it's with you or somebody, when you either do something wrong or, when you're grieving or, when you need to speak something out, it's so important that the person receiving that is calm about it and ready to hear it all and process it with you, and just when you respond with loudness, it shuts you down, and then that's when we build those defense mechanisms of avoiding us getting out our true feelings to people. So, yeah.
I don't know if this happened to you. It taught me to look at emotions in a very non-emotional way.
Materialistic way.
I look at emotion. Yes, yes. You know, I have
It taught
always
me
looked
to
at
just
it
be. It taught me to
as
just be happy and sad.
yeah. Either
All
you're
right, keep
happy or
going.
you're sad, and then any other emotions that you have, you need to look at it, you need to observe it, and then you need to deal with it in a logical sense. If you feel some sort of way about it, that's going to skew everything and it's going to screw everything up. And on the flip side of it, looking at it from how you respond, they're responding in an emotional way, and that made me feel bad. So I want to make sure that I don't respond in an emotional way and make others feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it kind of ruins some relationships. It makes some relationships feel very manufactural. Man, I don't know if I said that word right. Manufactured.
I get what you mean. For me, it was the polar opposite. It was taking what I've learned from my parents and be like, oh, okay, this is how I'm supposed to act. It was like when throughout my relationships, it was get all your emotion out and whatever happens, and I didn't really learn a sense of, like, I didn't ever analyze any emotional feelings at all until I was 18, 19, and I just was not I never thought to analyze my emotions until I was an adult. I guess I never thought about mindfulness until I was an adult. So I was kind of on the opposite I was on the polarity of that mindset. So that's I'm super happy for you that you took the side of, like, this is an example of what not to do. So that's good.
I mean, it's good, but it's bad because it's like you gotta find that grace period, for it to be genuine. I very much was like, growing up, I was very much, or at least in my eyes, stone cold. Didn't put much emotion into much unless I was like being like silly, goofy, haha.
Me
That
too.
was the only emotion you saw, was just me being funny. Otherwise, I was very, especially to my and I have my reasons. This is gonna sound really aggressive, but
That's okay.
especially to my mom and my stepdad, I was very much like stone cold Stonewall. I'm still kind of like that now. I have my reasons, Um, and it's because whenever I would go through like these emotional things and go through, like, they would discover stuff about me or find something that they probably should have found sooner but didn't, and then it blew up. It was always like they would be bawling or well, my mom would be bawling and crying her eyes out, and my stepdad would be telling me that I'm the problem. Their arguments are because of me, and just very big emotions just at me. And it just taught me, like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like them. I don't want to have these emotions where I'm just blowing up on people, whether that's with sadness or anger or even sometimes happiness. Sometimes I would really, really be, not anymore. I very much, I've learned that there's things that I'm easier with feeling. Um, but there was a time in my life where even happiness was kind of, if I felt too much of it, I was like, this is too much. Like, I can't. Like, I need to be very much like cold-headed, in it. I'm here.
I don't deserve to
The
feel my
only time that
happiness.
I'm ever gonna. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're preaching to the choir right now.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you grow up in environments where you can't truly communicate your feeling, where like emotional intelligence in one way or another is not that good. Like people in the like 70s, 80s, like back then, had to grow up that way too. It's kind of a generational trauma thing, or I guess a generational habit in this sense, like in terms of the way people are parented. Because if you grew up in the 70s, 80s, like, you know, you didn't get a chance to express your feelings, you know. Look at how things are today compared to then. Like, mental health is so much more apparent because back then, you know, your mental health was just kind of derived into a certain explanation, and it didn't go any deeper than that. So you're this way because this happened, or whatever. You're this way because you don't do this, or whatever it is, you know. So I get why my parents were the way they were, and you know, I'm in great terms with my parents now. But you know, growing up, it was in the emotional aspect of it all. It was a little tricky, for sure. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to turn that back around on me. That was more like I understand exactly. We both grew up in that sense very similarly. Yeah.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
don't even stress, man. This is a conversation. Podcasts are conversations.
They are. I guess that's another vulnerability of mine is, you know, back before I had a sense of emotional intelligence, I was a very selfish person. And so it's always on my mind to like not be like a selfish person to people. So it's like the second I feel like I have a sense of selfishness, I immediately am like, oh shit, like I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought that up or whatever. So,
no, you're true.
Yeah.
Bro. You're true.
All right,
bro.
Cool.
No sense of selfishness in these parts.
Cool. This is heavy stuff. I like talking about heavy stuff though. Don't mind it.
Feels good.
It does feel good. How are you feeling right now?
Heavy, but a little lighter. You know, heavy in my chest, but a little lighter on the mind.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that heaviness doesn't go away for a while. You have a lot more to feel. And
No, absolutely.
I think it's important to know too that, you know, it doesn't feel like there's an end, but there is a calmness that happens, you know. We slowly, you know, in a very almost this is going to sound very emotionless, but we, like, these emotions just kind of settle, you know. We still feel the same way about them, but they settle in our brain. It gets a little easier to process everything that happens and come to terms with it. You know, it doesn't mean that we'll ever be fine with what's happened, but you know, I think we come to peace with things in a sense, or we come to an acceptance, and that intense feeling of grieving kind of atrophies. Yeah. For me, my grieving kind of turned into a bittersweet peace. It turned into just you know, I'm sad that they're gone, but you know, I'm happy they were in my life. You know, I'm happy that they were in my life in the, you know, whether it was the lessons I learned from them or, you know, things we got to do. And I don't know, it's kind of just like, I know that chapter's closed. You know, that book is closed. And so I have the rest of my life to live, you know. So, my grieving has turned into that bittersweet piece. Yeah. Have you ever heard the, I think it was like a line by Shakespeare, and he says, grieve is love that has nowhere to go.
Oh, I love Shakespeare.
Yeah. I think that was Shakespeare.
Of course I've heard that quote.
Yeah.
I'll fact check you right now.
Jamie, look that up. That's another way I deal with metal clip that. That's another way I deal with cope, is all of a sudden I start making jokes. Weird.
You said grief is
love. Grief is love that has nowhere to go.
God, I can't type on this damn keyboard, bro.
Typing in VR typing in VR kind of sucks.
Indeed it does. It's like drunk texting, but you're completely sober.
Yeah.
Let me see. Indeed it was by Shakespeare.
Sweet.
Some grief shows much of love, but much of grief shows still somewhat a want of wit. William Shakespeare. Wait, that was AI. Fuck you,
Oh,
AI. I'm going to actual sources. God damn it! I fucking hate this new AI.
That was
bullshit.
like,
really
dude,
quick.
dude, that was like a third of a water bottle, dude, just to write that prompt.
Oh, God damn it! I didn't even look it up on like ChatGPT. It came to me.
I know. Fucking Gemini.
Fuck Ash Gemini.
Fuck who?
Gemini.
Oh.
Okay, well, the internet hates me and isn't giving me what I want. So...
That's okay. It's alright, we'll say it's by Shakespeare. Everything that people tell me on this podcast, and even things I say, are either right or wrong. Like, this is definitely not the podcast to know if something is factually correct or not. This is not the place for that. So,
you know what? You copyright Jake Phobia.
I already have.
Jake Phobia. Grief is love that has nowhere to. Okay. And okay.
I did not say grief is love that has nowhere to. Okay, I hate it here. I did not say that.
Quote Jake Phobia. Quote Jake Phobia.
Yeah. You ever watch The Office?
Oh, I really wanted to get into this show. I've heard so many amazing things, but season 1 drains my soul, bro.
It's very awkward humor.
Fucking nightmare. Yes. Nightmare to get through.
It's always
I'm
awkward
thinking about
humor.
just skipping to season 4. Oh. Or season 4, excuse me.
A lot of it is awkward humor, but
season 4.
Yeah. So kind of its whole premise. There's a thing in The Office where it's like Michael Scott, and he's like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And then it says whatever his name is, like Drew Levinsky. And then Michael Scott. Like, he just like took his quote.
That's you right now.
Yeah.
We need to put that on.
Grief is love that has nowhere to go. William Shakespeare. Jake Phobia.
Jake Phobia. Exactly, bro. Do you know those TikTok? They've come up recently, and it's like, sorry, I'm plugging in my headset before I
do your
die
thing.
on you.
You're fine.
It's like, I'm about to walk inside of you. I apologize. You're right where my desk is.
That's okay.
I think that's where. Nope. God, what am I saying?
Dude, people walk inside of me all the time. It's because you're doing multiple things at once.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. Oh. People walk inside of you because you're the universe, bro. People are constantly walking inside of you.
I know. That's why I say that.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
but it's a TikTok of like this. It's literally like this. It's exactly this. Somebody take a picture of this. Hey, I'll take a picture of this, and I'm gonna
What,
post
the
it.
world?
I'm gonna make it a yeah. I'm gonna take like it's like a beautiful scenic spot, and it like has like a quote of something. And when AI was first getting popular, it was very much like a thing to like have AI quote like make up quotes, like random quotes and shit. And then it'd be like this beautiful scenic area, and it would be like, bitch, girls poop. Bad bitches shit.
I've seen what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen that.
And that was kind of the vibe that I was getting from right now. And it was like AI. Or like some fake ass random name.
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
That's funny. That's great.
My favorite one has been the horses. The horses where it's like, go white girl. I'm not a
dude,
white girl,
I love those.
Don't get distracted tonight, ADHD boy.
That needs to come back. Oh my god. That shit needs to come back, dude.
Damn horses. You don't get those horses.
Or the trans girl one, it's like,
Don't forget to take your medicine tonight, trans girl. We love and support you all the way through, trans girl.
dude, those are so funny.
Gosh.
Don't stumble over your words on the podcast, Jake Phobia.
I love those.
Do everything you wanted to do today, ADHD boy.
Alright, I'm done.
Oh no. I'm imagining them right now, and they're just galloping in my head, and it's beautiful.
Oh yeah. Like the horses like ride, like they're like running on the beach.
I like the one where it's just the horse standing, gazing out into the ocean. It's like an AI generated. I hate AI. However,
I do too.
AI makes incredible memes. AI makes incredible. Fuck, it does an incredible job of turning like still images of like.
Because we made incredible memes.
Exactly. They're stealing our shit.
I know.
They're really good at stealing our shit.
Yeah, because we made them to do so.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I don't like using AI except for like to brainstorm some idea I have. And then if I go through all the prompts and stuff, I'm not copy and pasting AI's prompts. I'm like using that and then thinking of whatever it is in my own way. You know, I do that. Yeah, which I've done for the podcast before. I think I've used AI for generation stuff once for the podcast, and it was an episode called "I Fear Where AI Is Going," and I generated a picture of the spaceman like waving, and it looked really uncanny and weird. And then I told it to give me like an AI data center background, like thumbnail thing. And that's the only time I've used AI for the podcast.
I need to see this. Is it on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to see your AI generated.
It's called "I Fear Where AI Is Going." And then I drew like, cause I'm sure you've seen it, like in my thumbnails, I always draw like over my spaceman face and I add my own face. Yes. And so like in the picture of the thumbnail, it's like my actual spaceman guy, like looking really like confused and like uncomfortable in the corner.
I found it. Yes, I found it. That is so. It doesn't even have like the right color, and the planets look grody.
I wouldn't know.
No. Oh, that's right. You're colorblind. Dude.
Dude.
In, bro. Just fix it.
Just focus hard.
Just focus harder, man. Just squint your eyes a little bit and maybe it'll come back.
Oh, yeah, that's
squint
right.
Your eyes a couple times. Mm-hmm.
Dude, just turn on colorblind mode.
I forget that's a thing.
Just eat a bunch of carrots,
Does
man.
anybody do anything? That's what I'm saying, bro. Obviously, somebody didn't eat carrots enough while they were growing up.
Some people fuck up
Are
colorblind
your
mode.
bones
Some
brittle
some
too?
people don't. No, my bones are pretty dense.
That's good.
For games, like some of them they change the entire hue, which for me that's like too much. For me, like let's for instance, like if I was playing like COD, I would change all the enemy words to yellow instead of red, and then I changed the friendly side to like blue instead of green or yellow or whatever it is. Because because I have red and green color blindness, so trying to see red text in a very like natural looking forest is kind of tricky to me. So
Oh, that's immersion, bro. That's just immersion, bro.
if I wanted to do that, I'd play fucking hardcore mode where my HUD is off.
Oh, that's the thing.
Yeah,
I don't play Call of Duty.
I only play it every
Fortnite.
once in a while. Oh, I'm sorry.
What? Dude, I get to be fucking Noodle from Gorillas. What do you mean? I get
That's
to be Hatsune
true.
Miku.
Dude, I get to be Aang, which is pretty fun.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about, bro.
I have trouble with
And you
like
get
the
to ride
third
as
person shooters.
monster.
That's true.
That's understandable.
Dude, I miss the 2D, or I miss the Gorillas wave when they were added. I just don't play Fortnite enough. I only play it because like all my friends are playing it and they want me to hop on. I play it for my friends, not for me. I just play it because they're playing it, you know. And I don't care, you know. Like I'll play Fortnite or whatever, but you know, I don't know. It just doesn't hold me in. I'd rather play. If I wanted to play an arcadey game, I'd play like Forza or something.
I don't play games. I play Minecraft. I play Marvel Rivals sometimes. I play Fortnite. I play VR Chat.
Me too. I play.
Toontown. Oh, I be on Toontown. I be on Toontown.
Nice.
You catch me running the tunes. You catch me beating up those coggers, bro. You feel me?
Dude, I never played
keeping them
Toontown.
streets clean.
I've heard of it.
What? Oh my god, Toontown. Old ass, doo-doo ass fucking game. Had to be
That makes
there.
sense.
Had to
I
be
know it's
there,
old.
but you should get on. I think Toontown is a lot of fun when you have people to play with. It's a hard game to grind by yourself. Just cause like there's a lot of reading.
That's okay. I don't mind reading.
I hate reading. That's like that's the only game that I'll read for. Is Toontown. Toontown.
Oh, okay.
rewritten.
Wait. I've played this when I was a wee babby, like
Yeah.
for a little bit, and I was, you know, teething on the controller. Like I had no idea what I was doing. But I have seen this. Like I have played this a little bit.
It's a good game.
Dude, Rhett and Link played it.
You gotta play the rewritten version. You can be a bat.
That's
You can be a
cool.
little bat. Yes.
Toontown DeviantArt. Let's see what that is.
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, that's all right. I immediately saw softcore and I immediately saw softcore porn. Okay.
Don't look up the Toontown fan art, bro.
It's a lot of
The Toontown fan art, bro.
it's some of it's not that bad. Some people are pretty fucking talented, actually. There's a lot though that's definitely like it's Toontown, but then it's also like their favorite superheroes as well. You know, and like SpongeBob's in there, and they drew themselves in there. You know, but it's pretty good.
OCs.
It's like trying to draw an NFT before an NFT is in there. There's what is it? Rainbow Dash? Is that their name? Blue's Clues is in there.
Holy shit.
Dude, Danny Phantom's in there, but like a furry. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
There's Hatsune Miku,
Foxy
too.
from
I saw
FNAF is
Hatsune
in
Miku.
there.
Hell yeah. What are you seeing?
I looked up Toontown DeviantArt and I'm looking at. Well, now I'm looking at the first image that's on there.
Which was what you said it was softcore porn. I'm scared.
I looked
bro.
at another one and I thought it was softcore porn, but it's actually a character holding another character, like in their arms, and they're blushing really
Like, how
hard.
drew you and
Yeah,
you
exactly.
going?
Yeah, exactly. Which we can wrap the podcast segment up if you just want to yap, because I'm still recording.
I mean, I'm. Oh. Bye. No, we can get back on topic.
Do you have anything else you
I
want
don't
me to
even
talk
know
about?
I felt like there was something. I was thinking about it earlier, but I completely forgot about it as
Take
soon as
your
we
time.
started talking about those damn horses.
Before we talked about Toontown on DeviantArt.
Toontown on DeviantArt. I've been dealing with grief in a very to kind of tie in the whole like thinking super logically and like how I'm kind of telling myself that my dad is gone. It's very much I tell myself that in a very non-emotional way. I feel like I'm trying to rush grief.
I think I
Like,
agree.
I'm
I
trying
agree with you.
to-
I think you are trying to rush grief. You're trying to get it over with.
Exactly. And it's hard not to do that. It's really hard. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I very much catch myself looking at this in a very logical way. And just trying to like not be emotional about it. Like I try to be very, very for real with myself, Um I can tell myself, till the cows come home that it happened, but I don't even realize that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I realize it happens, but emotionally I haven't realized, or I guess some part of me hasn't realized. And it's very much like a
It's not that
hard.
it's not that you haven't realized. It's your your reality of what's around you. It still feels like he's there. Like mentally that he's gone. But there's a couple variables to this. The first, trying to rush grief goes back to how we've grown up. We want to get this feeling out of us. And then I forgot what the second one was gonna be. Hold on, I'm lagging. Give me a sec. We forget. Well, hold on. Fuck. What did you say at the end there again?
I don't remember.
Sorry.
I realize logically that he's gone, but I don't know if I have
Right.
emotionally.
Right. Yeah. Logically, you understand that he's gone, and that emotionally, he's still a part of you. He's still part of your everyday life, and your brain kind of lags behind, kind of like what I was saying earlier. Like we turn a corner and we our brain fills in the gap. Like it gets ready to see people, when they're gone, they're not there. And it takes a while. It takes a couple weeks, that kind of feeling of them still being there kind of slowly goes away. Your mind kind of slowly adapts to kind of get away from that pattern recognition, in a sense of your brain kind of expects you to see them. And that is amplified when that person is like part of your daily life. You know, that's when that happens like the most. Yeah, it's tough. There has to be, like, in terms of like rushing grief, one thing I've realized in the past year is that, and not just with grief, it's pretty much the present moment always. I have to accept that I will always be now. I will always be in this present moment now. And I will want to have different thoughts, and I will want to wish I am not where I am, but I will always be where I am. You know, I can't control that. And I think when I try to be okay with my present moment, in my even through grief, even through wishing I was home when I'm at work, you know, wishing it was cold when it's hot, you know, wishing I wasn't nauseous when I want to be, you know, normal. I guess wishing I wasn't sick. Wishing that we were not where we are. You know, it takes away from accepting that we will always be where we are. And I guess give yourself some time to try to accept that a little bit, you know. And it's it's probably one of the hardest things you can do, because it's not about being okay with how you're feeling, because you're not gonna feel good. Obviously, you're going to be sitting with this heaviness. It's a matter of like letting yourself be in that like heaviness. And I think part of what takes away from wanting that rush is when we allow ourselves to be in this present moment, or I guess accept this present moment. Yeah, I don't know. It's such a really hard thing to do, but I think the more you can remind yourself when you wish you weren't where you were, is like, just pause for a second. The moment you feel that trigger of like, I need to do something, or like, you know, I need to get it in VR chat, or I need to, you know, start cleaning this or doing this, you know, obviously do those things like that are going to help you cope. But for a day or two, maybe just, you can recognize that trigger. That's when the moment you should be like, okay, hold on, pause. Why do I want to distract myself right now? What just happened in my mind that makes me want to distract myself? And ask yourself what that feeling is, and try to find peace with that feeling, in the sense of kind of let it go through you, you know, let yourself feel that feeling instead of distract yourself. Even if it's the 30th time you felt that feeling, even if it's the 100th time you felt that feeling, you know, sit with it just for a second. And then when you've understood it and you go, all right, I will always, like, these kinds of things, because they don't go away, you know, I will always kind of have these feelings come to me, and that has to be okay with me. So then I can go and clean the clothes in my room, or do the dishes and do all this stuff. Then I can distract myself, because I have acknowledged as full as I can in that moment what I'm feeling. Does any of this make sense, or am I like crazy?
Absolutely. No, we're on the same train right now.
Cool.
I'm right here with you.
Cool. That's what, out of everything I've said to you, That's what I'd be focusing on the most right now, is before you go and do that task, feel what you're feeling. Sit with it and just try to, accept the present moment so that you are not rushing to get out of it. Because you are delaying what your body and mind are trying to feel. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. In a way, I've been to kind of circle back when you were saying how you don't like feeling selfish. A way that I've really been helping myself grieve, allow myself to grieve, is realize that it's selfish of me to not grieve him. It's selfish of me to not allow
It's a good
myself to
point.
grieve him.
It's a really good
Because,
point.
it's selfish. It's selfish to not let myself grieve him. It's selfish to not let myself be vulnerable with people and open up to my friends, because it's like they're my friends. He's my dad. Yap yap yap.
Say it, dude.
Sorry,
Say what's on your
I'm
mind.
deflecting. I know.
You're good.
I gotta walk in, bro.
You're fine.
It's selfish of me not to feel the way I'm feeling, because it's like he deserves it. He deserves to be mourned. He's deserved to be grieved. He had a full heart. There's a lot of people that knew my dad. There's a lot of people who held my dad in very, very high regards. And I feel like, maybe he might not have been the best dad, but he was a really good person. And he at least deserves my grief as his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I can give him at least is sorrow.
What
And then
do you want to talk about who he was at all? Like what kind of person he was, I guess, or like what were some good
partier.
What were some good things about him? What made people have high regards for him?
He just knew how to make you happier. I've heard lots of stories about my dad where he just had this aura. I guess you could say. That's what they say. He had this aura that was just very addictive. He knew a lot of people. He got he didn't get around like that, but he got around where like he knew how to, if there's a party going on and nobody showed up, he would be able to, fill up the house within the next 30 minutes to an hour. He was a graffiti artist. He was a music maker. He was a hard worker. Even a month ago, at his worst, he was still trying to help people. He was fixing. I'm pretty sure he was actually on his way to go return the bike that he fixed for a friend. Very big heart.
Yeah.
He had a very big heart. But he had a lot of pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see both sides of him.
Yeah.
People do that. There's a I think everyone kind of does it. People want you to see the best version of yourself. And then it's the people that we have grown with that for some reason in our brain, it's like, for some reason in our brain, we kind of bring the mask back down a little bit, we take it off. It's not really a mask. It's more like we take the outfit off. We're classy in a suit because we want people to think that we're, presentable, and that, we want people to see the way we want to be seen, and then go home to our families, and then we're in dirty underwear and stinky clothes, you know, and it's like, I don't know why we do that. Don't really know why we do that.
Raised. It's the way we're raised.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure for most folks, you're kind of told, oh, we're going to your grandma's house, dress nice. We're going to this event. Make sure you put on this specific type of outfit, You're going to school, dress presentable, no noodle straps,
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get home with those people that are close to you, whether that's family or friends, that's usually when you're able to be yourself in the most vulnerable way.
You can let your guard down
in your space.
You don't have to be presentable.
Exactly.
And that's when we have to.
And as you.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
As you grow up, that's just kind of. It just kind of becomes the norm instead of it being clothes or the way you speak. It becomes just you.
Yeah.
How you present yourself just in day-to-day stuff.
Mm-hmm. Try my best to keep that. I try my best to keep both sides as close together as possible. I'm not going to be any different to you, speaking to you about just about whatever, compared to my coworker or my mom, and obviously like with my mom and dad, there's way more like personal stuff I can talk about, but in the sense of my cadence and the thing I say to people and stuff like that, like to me, I guess I try my best to keep that difference like as close together as I can. Obviously, besides like our personal conversations and like the things we need to say to our families and stuff. And it's important for people to, recognize in like when we can put our guard down and we're back home or whatever, that we still have people around us that react to us. And there are still people, just because like they've seen us all of our lives doesn't mean we can lash out to them or treat them in any different way that, other people wish to be treated when we are presenting ourselves, Think about that kind of stuff right now. That's a kind of a new thought for me. I'm thinking as I'm speaking right now, pretty much. But yeah. I don't know. We've been yapping for a while.
Indeed. I apologize.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Don't apologize. No, I love to yap. What do you think? You want to wrap this up, or do you want to? Do you have anything else you'd?
I'm down.
Want to talk about?
No. I mean, I'm pretty satisfied. I hope that this helps somebody.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, on my hand. Oh, there it is. Now, thank you for talking to me about this.
Yeah, man. Thank you for letting me talk.
I hope this helps you a little bit.
Definitely,
just getting it out.
Definitely, it helped me. It helped me realize some stuff.
What do you think you're realizing?
It's okay to mourn somebody that I barely knew.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to feel like I don't deserve to mourn him. Because even if I do feel that way, he at least deserves it.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Before we wrap this up, do you have any final words you'd want to say to anybody listening to this before we wrap up this? Definitely, you're going to have your own episode, by the way. So, we talked for quite a while.
Oh. I'm so sorry.
No, it's great.
Splice it. If you're mourning somebody that you feel like if you're mourning somebody that you feel like you shouldn't be, tells you enough that maybe you should be. The fact that they're on your mind is enough to mourn. I feel like that's good. I don't know.
I agree. I agree. All right. You have a good night. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you, gang. It was awesome talking to you. Thank you so much.
Of course.